Ontario's October 6th provincial election may be a long way away, but today Finance Minister Dwight Duncan used the unveiling of his spring budget to attack the opposition parties and launch the election campaign now. In particular, he leveled a blistering attack on opposition leader from the Progressive Conservatives Tim Hudak on his deficit-fighting plans.
We know that the Hudak Tories want to cut 1% from the HST. What they won't tell you is how that will hurt Ontario schools and hospitals.
The budget itself is essentially status quo. It has no new taxes, and it doesn't include much in the way of spending increases or spending cuts. And it also maintains a relatively modest program of deficit reduction, which Hudak leapt upon as a major problem.
I just think this is a budget that is all about laying out more promises as they get ready for an election campaign with absolutely no intention to keep anything that they say. I don't think it's worth the paper it's written on.
The budget itself is essentially status quo. It includes no new taxes and doesn't have a lot of spending increases or spending decreases, and it keeps to the same relatively modest pace of paying down Ontario's $16.7 billion deficit. In his response, Hudak pointed out that Duncan spent almost his entire address to the media here at the budget lockup about the opposition parties and not about the budget itself.
It's clear McGuinty's so-called strategy isn't working.
Andrea Horwath, the leader of the New Democratic Party, attacked the government over its continued insistence upon putting corporate tax cuts into the budget. She said they could reduce the deficit much quicker if they did away with those tax cuts. Now, this budget is just the first salvo in what's going to be a long summer of campaigning before the fall election in October. But even before that, voters will have to get through the May 2nd federal election. For the Toronto Sun, I'm Jonathan Jenkins.